Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, a little while back, Tobias on Knife Chats with Tobias, he did a video about he got a replica trench knife like this, but made by Windlass Cutlery over in India, I believe. And of course, it's more expensive and everything. Now, this is my version. I think it's a pretty good replica. If you think about like replica and guns and stuff, they're not trying to pass themselves off as the real thing. You know, there's usually something about them. The metal is cheaper or something else. The reason why I know that say this is a good replica is because a lot of them would stamp the other casting in here from a World War II knife, you know, and try to make it look like a replica. You know, I mean, it would have all the stampings and everything. But the problem is the difference between a replica World War I would say World War I, 1918. I said World War II. A World War I trench knife and a replica is the price. And usually it's pretty expensive. All right, now, I got this one, I would say, in the late 70s, early 80s, somewhere around there, probably from a catalog. And I know, just from my spending habits and everything, that it was not above $30 back then. Nowadays, I don't know if you can even get these. It's probably probably not even made anymore. But this is a stamp that was slid while the blade was hot. So what this says is stainless steel Taiwan. It's really hard to see that. You have to get it. Yeah, there we go. I can see it with my eyes a little bit better. Let me see if we can zoom in. You see how it did that though? Because it was stamped, and then while the metal was hot, they pulled the blade this way, and it pulled all the stamping that way. Anyways, if you look at it just right, it says stainless steel Taiwan. Alright, so this is a Taiwanese made version. Now, the thing about these are, you can pull this cap off. It's not on hand tight. Yeah, I got an adjustable wrench here somewhere, but I'm just going to use this. Now, what's useful about this is not only for cleaning, you know, because possibly something could get down in there. But you can make it more compact, or you got yourself a pair of brass knucks. Now, this right here, all this, is kind of unnecessary if you just want brass knucks. I had a pair of these. If you watch The Martialist, he does a lot of stuff about brass knuckles or plastic knuckles or aluminum knuckles and stuff like this. I had, besides this knife, I had a set of brass knuckles where it looked like they had just followed the contours and taken all this guard part off, and they put a pocket clip on one side. A wire pocket clip. Looked like it was cast in there. A lot like a Spyderco type of wire clip, you know, like that. I wish I would have kept that thing. I don't know what happened to it. But it was excellent. So it doesn't have the skull crusher, Palmer, but man, you crack somebody in the head with this, even without a pommel thing in there, and I bet you're going to crack a skull. This was designed to concentrate all the force in there and to kind of like guarantee, you know, it's going to go in and smash and everything. But yeah, knuckles are devastating, man. I mean, they really are. Now, another pair I had was aluminum with the pointy ends ground off and flat and everything. That's a big difference in weight. And again, the Martialist was doing one of, you know, talking about the difference between aluminum and brass knucks and stuff, and he was talking about the weight advantage. And I was saying that if you hit yourself in the face, I mean, not real hard, but if you hit yourself in the face with a pair of your own knuckles first, brass knucks, aluminum knucks, in whatever sequence you want to do, I guarantee you, you're not going to tell a lot of difference between the brass knucks and the aluminum when it hits your face, because human flesh and bone give even against aluminum, cast aluminum. This also protects your hands when you hit. It protects your knuckles. This is the proper way. The way you hold it is a proper way to deploy knuckles. You know, if you go like this, I mean, it can be done, but you're not concentrating the force back into your palm. The way it's most brass knuckles you see, they shape it down like this, and they have a little base right here, so it's more compact and everything. But anyways, this is my door greeting tool. You know, if I don't know, I mean, first off, you shouldn't open your door to anyone you don't know nowadays. I mean, but it, you know, you live in an apartment, stuff like that happens. I'm gonna put this on, but it's threaded. I'll put it on later. But anyways, I just wanted to show you. It has a rat tail type of tang. I'm not sure exactly what that hole there is for. Probably these were just made as blanks to be made into daggers or whatever. And you could thread the end, you know, and put whatever material you want in here. And this would probably just be a pin, just to make sure that it kept the covers on. But there you go, man. I've had this one for a long time. I almost saw Taiwan there. It's hard to see through the camera, but in your eyes you can see stainless steel. So you can almost see the steel there in time. I mean, we haven't tried this angle. You got to try all different kinds of angles. So it's not a Japanese made one, or you know, it's not made in Pakistan or anything like that. And if you can find them, you know, it gave me everything I wanted to do. I didn't need a museum piece that was going to be, you know, exactly, because even then, unless it's a real one, you don't want to pay a lot for a museum piece, because in your mind you're going to know it's not the real thing. I mean, you know, if you're a true, honest memorabilia collector, you're going to want the real thing from the real period, you know. Me, I just like the looks and the style and the functionality of it, you know. I mean, here you got a double-edged blade. This is stainless steel because I never put any oil and stuff on that. This is basically, I cleaned it off if I ever use it. And over the years, you know, it hasn't rusted, as opposed to that other knife I had, that Air Force survival knife. It's not stainless steel. It's carbon steel. But anyways, there you go. I hope you found that interesting. Just a little something there. I'll try to put up more knife content. Now, this is a kind of a dinky little frog, or sheath or whatever, but you know, it's just held on by that friction right there. You can tighten that up a little bit, but it rattles like no end. And that's not just because this blade is loose. Let me tighten that back up. Well, I mean, yeah, you don't have to have this on super tight if you want, but it is the tang, you know. It's tightening the tang up against the brass guard. I usually go like just a little bit, you know, just to make sure that the blade is not wobbling. You hear that? No wobbling. I don't know if you can hear that or not. And that's because it's just held here on the tang, you know. You can see it gets wider right there. And then it's just got all that room to live around. Now to fix that, you can put a piece of leather or something in there, you know. But I never really carried this that much. This will kind of fit on a belt, but it's not super secure. I mean, it just depends on the width of your belt. How many inches we got here? That's silly meters. Here in America, we go by inches. What was I measuring? Oh yeah, the width of the belt. It looks like it's about maybe an 1.5 inch belt you could fit in there, 1.25 inches. Not a real wide belt. It won't fit on, maybe it'll fit on a web belt somehow. But this would be the first thing I ditched if I was carrying this regularly. And man, you talk about protecting your hand. I mean, your hand is really protected. You ain't going to slide up on that blade at all if you're holding it like this. And you have, the smashing reverse. You got the punch capability and the stab all in one. Now, this could get in the way if you're using this a lot. You might wind up doing both, a punch and a cut. But if you have to use one of these, you don't really care, I look at brass knuckles as, first off, it depends on your locality. This violated many laws. Brass knuckles, double-edged dagger, Probably the length violates something too. What do we got here? It's about a 6-inch blade. Yeah. It's like 6.5 if you measure to the... Sorry, I'm over here. I'm looking at this over here. Because there's a little scale here. Yeah, so there you go. That's what it is. It's kind of like... it's a flat... I don't think these are hollow ground. If they are, they're very slight. I don't have anything super flat. Let me measure this. It is a hollow ground. It is a hollow ground on both sides. Or is it? No, it's slight. It's very slight. If it's... You see that? You got a little bit of a gap there. Not much. Anyway, I've always enjoyed this thing. I really like it because, to me, if I'm buying a replica or something, it doesn't necessarily have to be made out of period piece steels, It doesn't necessarily have to have all the markings. But if it's the same basic size and shape of one of those, then you get to have it in your hand and feel like what it would be like. And this knife right here instills confidence if you're going to do like hand-to-hand combat. Now the disadvantage, of having this in your hand is this hand is occupied now. You can't really use anything else while you've got this in your hand. It's pretty easy to drop it if you have to and switch to something else. But for most up close confrontations, this can handle it. Just the presence of this, if you have to deploy it, is like, yes, can I help you? If anybody was up to no good, they got to know they're going to have to go through that. Now, like I said, if you're right-handed and this is in your hand and you've got something else in your back pocket or whatever, this is occupied. You're going to have to deal with this first. So just be aware, threat assessment, all that other stuff. But anyway, there you go. Hope you found that interesting. It's not, filled with a bunch of historical facts and stuff like that because, again, this is a replica. But I really enjoy military knives, trench knives, all kinds of knives that the military use and stuff, and just knives in general. But anyways, yeah, if you can ever get your hand on one of these and they're legal to have, again, you don't have to use it against people and stuff. It's just fun to have, I mean, martial arts, military-type weapons and stuff are designed to inflict damage, so they're going to be scary looking. And they're going to have scary capabilities. But hey, if it ever comes down to it and you need to do something, this can resolve your problems pretty quickly and give you the potential of non-lethal force if you have to use it. I mean, you might be better off with pepper spray, but still, I wouldn't want to go up with somebody determined with one of these in their hand, not being unarmed. I wouldn't want to go up against someone like that. Anyways, thank you for watching and have a nice day.